Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 887. It's Monday. Look at box 13 peering over my shoulder. Good morning. Boy, it looks like a really crappy box, doesn't it? Look what I brought today. No little coffee cup. Got the mug. This is koozie mug from a former client of mine, Soil Biotics in Kankakee, Illinois. So shout out to Corey and the gang at Soil Biotics. None of them are watching. Good morning. Good morning. We've got Terry in the house. Harlan is here. What's up, David? Good morning. It's Monday. Nice start to the week. I've always said I like Mondays. Tuesdays are what get me. Although today's a busy day, it's cleaning day. So yesterday I had to prepare for the cleaning, which is more work than just cleaning, I think. But my basement, my rec room, is always a disaster because I've run out of space. So I use it to sort, and it's just a gigantic mess most of the time. So that's all cleaned up for the most part. I have some boxes. I have my quarter boxes that I need to. I'm kind of waiting if I mow again this week because I'll have to take the grass to the dump. And I hate moving boxes around more than I should. So I don't know if I'll move those into my car or just try to find a spot elsewhere down here. So yeah, what else is going on? I put the video up. I did the walkthrough. I was gonna do a walkthrough on Saturday, but they were tiling. So went over there. Well, I guess I did do it Saturday. I did it Saturday evening. So did the walkthrough video. It's on my YouTube channel. Whole house walkthrough of the current progress of our home renovation. Hopefully, fingers crossed, 1st of July we'll be move-in ready. We've got to be in before July 15th. That's when we close on this house. So we're getting close, but we'll get in. We'll be there. So that video is up, so check that out. We've got Steve Ains Comedy. What's up? Good morning. Happy Monday. Michael Renicky in the house. We've got Stukes Baseball Cards and Curiosities. Shane is here. What's up, Shane? Dan, good evening to you. Baseball Card Curmudgeon in the house. We've got the Card Hobbyist. Evan, good morning. 800 listings. Close to 1,000. That's the big one. 1,000 listings. That's like the milestone. And once you get to 1,000, it's like smooth sailing. I feel like that's the big milestone that's like, it's so hard to overcome. Once you get there, it's smooth sailing. Dan says it's a no title show Monday. That means it's going to be awesome. Yes, I was actually thinking, I was sitting at my computer, booted up. Like, what the hell am I going to talk about? What is today? I can't even remember. Where are the baseball cards at? Which actually is like kind of a topic. This is really hot. That's the downside to these mugs. It keeps it really hot. Yeah, so I want to talk about the title was Where Are All the Baseball Cards? Which is a topic, but it's just kind of one of those throwaway topics, basically. Where are all of the cards? Usually at this point of the season, the year, we're at like once or multiple products every single week stage by the time we get to the end of May. We're not seeing that this year. We didn't see it last year, and I've had some conversations, so I'll talk about that. Where are the baseball? What's the reason we've only seen Series 1 Heritage and Bowman by this point in 2023? And I want to talk about a little movie review today, Air, which I was like, when did they release the trailer? Was it Super Bowl? Couldn't have been this. Maybe it was a Super Bowl and it just was released earlier. Usually the Super Bowl like movie, when they promote a movie, it's like coming in 3 years, the summer of 2033. Usually it's not like released 3 months after the Super Bowl. Usually it's like summer, like July, and that's when most of the big movies are released. But Air was released, I think, just a couple months ago, and it's on Amazon Prime. So, oh my god, that was a good yawn. That's been building for 5 minutes since I turned the mic on. Okay, so Air, it's something. I think it was released on Prime last week. Just didn't get around to. Didn't have much time to watch. And last night I just said it's Sunday night, so eating dinner last night, salmon Sunday, and I'm like, "Do you want to watch Air?" And my wife's like, "Yeah." Um, Now normally she wouldn't be into sports movies, but I think the cast, and she saw some previews, but like Ben Affleck, Jason Bateman, Matt Damon, so great cast. Talk about Air as well. Can I drink this damn coffee? It's too hot. I'm just a complainer, aren't I? My coffee mug's too small. It gets cold. Now I've got this big giant mug. I've got plenty of coffee to get me through this hour, but it's too damn hot to drink. Good morning, Kyle. What's happening? He says Air was an awesome movie. I'll agree. Christian, good morning. Hall of Fame card collector. What's happening? He just bought a collection. Wow, what a weekend. Bought a collection and graduated. That is a hell of a weekend. Good luck on the collection. Tony sold a bunch of Patrick Bailey's. Yes. Patrick Bailey was just called up by the Giants. I've also moved pretty much all of my Patrick Bailey's that I had. Although I did see I was going through one of my Bowman tabs and I have like a blue shimmer Patrick Bailey. And I'm like, I'm surprised this hasn't sold. I'm wondering, there's two reasons that it's still not sold. A, it's still priced too high from release week, because that's something that I do. I never go back and change prices, which in many cases is very good for the buyer. In some cases, it's just going to sit high priced. So that could be the culprit, or it may have somehow just been deleted by eBay. So I'm looking. Oh, I still have a 2021 Bowman remaining. I've got a pro debut remaining. Oh, I've got a first Bowman Patrick Bailey still in my eBay store for $1.50 free shipping. 0 views, 0 watchers. That's intriguing. I wonder if there's revised listing. Looks like I did send an offer at some point. All the item specifics are correct. Interesting. Okay, so there's like a shimmer Patrick Bailey. I should have typed in Patrick Bailey because now I'm getting all kinds of other Baileys. I still have quite a few Baileys in my store, but I did sell a bunch. Oh, I do. It's a purple shimmer. Number to 250. It's not his first. It's from 2021. Oh, and I've got shipping on this. I think I remember when I listed this. For some reason, shipping was getting added. Okay, so we're going to go through. Oh, looks like I've got minimum offers set. That's weird. This is just this is a bizarre listing, because typically I don't have a minimum offer and I don't charge for shipping. Okay, so okay. Oh, where's my damn default shipping? There's too many shipping options, and this is why they get you on the. There should be something where it says default or whatever. Isn't this riveting content? Flat economy, domestic 3 days. I think that's what it is. Oh. They're like all the same ship. So policies. Oh, there's so many. And I thought I went in and deleted these, but for some reason they're still. Let's do this one maybe. There. Okay. Revise it. Okay. So Patrick Bailey, Purple Shimmer. We took the minimum offer down. We've got free shipping. So if you're looking for Patrick Bailey's, I've got a bunch in my eBay store. And a bunch sold also over the weekend. Red Light 34 in the house. Good morning. Hit that like button. Appreciate that. We've got Terry here. I moved all my inventory into a different room and changed the old room into a storage and sorting space. Seems a little more organized now. Yeah, I'm utilizing the bathroom again for storage. I've just run out of space. So at times I would have a sorting table in here, actually and then my inventory, I grew out of this area. So I put that shelf, which is a huge help, for finding my inventory, having that shelf there behind me, but it took away my sorting space. So that won't be an issue in roughly 6 weeks. We're just going to take the top off and cool this coffee down. Come on, coffee. Come on. So won't have an issue. We'll have plenty of storage and sorting space. Gosh dang. I will tell you what, this mug is damn good at keeping coffee hot. Too hot to drink. I'm like, you ever you have the coffee and it's like, you're scared to, it's like, you're like testing it. Ooh, that's hot. Damn it. I can't even drink my freaking coffee. Okay. Dan says, I was thinking yesterday, bring down a coffee cup, have backup coffee in the thermos for cup number 2. That, my friend, is an excellent idea. Because this coffee's too damn hot to drink. I want my freaking coffee and I can't drink it because it's too damn hot. Dan brings up an excellent point. I love it. I will have a coffee cup, and then I've got my thermos. What's the thermos song? Wasn't that from The Jerk? The thermos? I'm picking up a thermos for you. Thermos song lyrics. Thermos song tab. I'm picking out a thermos for you. Not an ordinary thermos for you, but the extra best thermos you can buy with finals and stripes and a cup built right in. I'm picking out a thermos for you. So that's what I'll do tomorrow. I'll pick out a thermos for you and bring my coffee cup. And then I'll have coffee I can drink and coffee that's just going to freaking sit for 3 hours until it cools down. Steve says, Bo has all the baseball cards. He's in denial. No, where are the baseball cards? 2023, we don't have any baseball cards. We have Bowman. We have Top Series 1. Heritage comes out this week, so we're finally getting some more baseball cards. That's the thing with us, and I say us as a collective collector group. So I'm lumping some of you in who don't complain, but people like me are complaining. Where are all the baseball cards? I'm complaining. 3 years ago, we have too many baseball cards. There's 3 releases on the same day. There's got to be a happy medium somewhere. John says at around 1,700 listings, 3,200 total cards. I think that's my limit. That's great to know. I think that's understanding where your limits are is critical to finding out. And that's why there's a part of me that would absolutely love to just kind of like go on like Sport Lots vacation mode, but like have thousands and thousands of listings, like just hammer out listings, but not publish them on eBay. And then like a month later, just unleash them in the wild. But guess what? You don't understand your limitations at that point, because what happens when all of a sudden you're going to go from 0 to 100 and you're not equipped to handle that type of increase in volume. So that's I always remind myself of that. And I think that's one of the most important things I've learned since going full time, even before I was full time, just in scaling up and how important it was. I fear that whenever I mention the words scaling up, that my computer is going to like die and YouTube, my stream's going to go down. How many? I think 3 times on the scaling up video, and we never got through it. But that's the biggest thing I think I've learned, even before I went full time, is gradually scaling up so I know my limitations. And those limitations have increased. Back before I was, in between eBay stores, I had an eBay store 20 years ago. And I had one for a few years, like 2003, 4 until like 08, in that area. And then I kind of stopped doing the eBay thing for a few years. And when I picked back up just kind of on the side here and there, I wouldn't even consider it a side hustle when I started selling on eBay again in 2013-ish. It was just here and there. And I remember, and even going further, when I got much more into cards a couple years later, we're talking 2015, 2016, I remember having like 10 or 12 items to ship, and it was stressful. Like 10 items to ship was super stressful for me. Now, if I'm at 200, I'm like, oh yeah, that's manageable. 200. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 was stressful. Now it's, 300. I'm starting to like worry about getting items shipped. 300 at one time. It's been over 500. That's when I think it was it Bowman week? It might have been Bowman week, where it ended up being over 500 at one point. I think it just barely over 500, but I had never hit 300. I'd been very close to 300 items to ship at one time. Like I had hit like 294, I think, at one point. So I hit 300, and then 400 came soon after, and then 500 because I think I was out of town. Can I drink this damn coffee yet? This was actually a bad idea. Oh, now I got the old frosty face. I can't even drink the damn coffee. We're 20 minutes in. Okay, manageable, but I can't like just take a gulp. I might need a reminder. Don't take a gulp. So yeah, knowing your limitations is huge. And for me, and for some that might not be, like for John may not want to do more than that limit. But for others that are looking to scale up, increase their volume, potentially go full time if they're not already, knowing those limitations and then finding efficiencies to grow your efficiencies to where, you can move from 100 to 200 to 300 at a time. And hopefully I get to 500. I think at that point, if I'm on a consistent 500 to ship basis, I will need help. I will not be able to be a solo act when that point is reached. But I know that. And I know that through experience, like, okay, I know what it's like to consistently have 200 items to ship on a daily basis. And that's manageable. But 300, probably not manageable, especially if I want to, go to Wrigley for a weekend or go to Dallas or go to the National and all that spring training. Knowing those limitations is key, especially if you want to scale up. Where are we at? Let's see. Here we are. George in the house. What's happening? George, Alex, good morning. John says, Air was great. The opening scene was everything great from the early 80s, trip down memory lane. That 100%. That opening montage of 80s was, my wife and I were just like, everything that popped up, my wife or I would be like, oh, remember that? Oh. And like, oh, the Rubik's Cube, like everything in that opening scene. Like I want to watch it over just to see that stuff all over again. Agree. An amazing film. It was an excellent film. If you haven't watched, by the way, if you're not familiar, Air is the story of how Nike landed Michael Jordan. It was an excellent film. Somebody did because I tweeted something out last night. Somebody in one of the responses was bummed that Michael Jordan, nobody played Michael. So Michael Jordan wasn't really a character. And I'm wondering if that was by design, if like he didn't give his approval. That's my thought, because Michael Jordan's pretty like, he doesn't just put his name on anything and everything. So that's my guess. If I had an educated guess, it would be Michael Jordan didn't give his approval to have somebody play him in the movie. I think there was maybe 3 words spoken by the Michael Jordan character. And he was never on, like you could see like a shadow in the background. It was basically like a body double, but never featured, which kind of adds a mystique to it. Because it really wasn't about Michael Jordan, right? It was about landing Michael Jordan. I mean, yes, Michael Jordan was the central figure, but it was more about the process and not the actual player that Michael Jordan was. So I thought it was really well done. And maybe that wasn't Michael Jordan approving. Maybe that was a mystique that the writers wanted to throw in. Like, hey, we don't want to make this about Michael Jordan. We want to make this about the process. So I like the way it was done. Good morning, Alex. Redbridge in the house. Shane says, keep the lid off. Yeah, I guess I don't have anything. If I knock it over, it'll get on my blue tape and some card savers. So Shane for the win. When I get coffee at a gas station, I never get a lid for that reason. Yes. So that was, I should know this. When I worked in radio, and so in 2008, the radio group I worked for, our location, the group I worked in was in Macomb. We had I think when I started, we had 21 markets when I started. And then by the time I left, how many years later? 7 years later, 6 years later, I think we were down to 14 markets. So our market, the company I worked for sold our market group to our competition in town. And so I had the opportunity to go work for them and stay in Macomb, or stay with my company and move markets. So I was working out of Galesburg and Monmouth. So I chose to stay with my company because I was guaranteed my position, sports director. So I would just drop in. It was a much taller task because the competition there was much more a much more worthy opponent, I guess. So it was a challenge. But I was just going to be like the second or third man on the totem pole if I stayed in the market for a different company. And I'm like, no, I'm going to stay in this position. So that led me to a longer commute. Instead of 3 minutes, it was 35 minutes. So I would go to the gas station down the street, my morning breakfast. I've always ate healthy. So I think I was on a cappuccino. I say that tongue in cheek, by the way, because it was my morning routine was a cappuccino and those powdered donuts. That was my breakfast every morning on my drive to work at 5 a.m. And then I went back. I was on a cappuccino kick for a year. I don't know why I strayed from coffee. I'm sorry. Because now cappuccino, it's all it is sugar. There we go. I think it's cool enough to not scorch my tongue. Um, so yeah, but the coffee was so damn hot that I had to wait. I think I had to get to, where was it? So I would. It was like, it was between Good Hope. It wasn't quite to Roseville. By the time I got to Roseville, Illinois, I could drink my coffee. But Good Hope was 6 miles north of Macomb. I would take 67 up from Macomb north to Monmouth, where our studios were. So between Good Hope and Roseville, I could drink my coffee, which was about 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. But I had to wait like 15, 20 minutes before the coffee was not scorching hot so I could drink it. Maybe I should have taken the lid off, but it was a kind of a bumpy road. They've since, and I think there's even a bypass, which I haven't been to Macomb in, 8 years probably. All my friends said, "Oh, you're a lifer. You're a Macomb homie for life. You're never leaving." And then once I got a job outside of Macomb, they were like, "Oh, you're going to come back every month." And I still had a house for almost 2 years that I owned, that I rented out. So I did have to go back every once in a while. But man, like 2015, it might have been like December of 2015 was the last time I was in Macomb. I'd like to get back because it's been a while. I've still got some friends down there. Let's see. Alex says, once the weather changes to above 70s, it's iced coffee time. No waiting, just chug away. You know, I never got into iced coffee. I mean, I've had iced coffee, but it's just, to make iced coffee good for me, of course, this is all, to each their own. The only time I like iced coffee is like if you get it from like Dunkin' or McDonald's, but it's just all sugar. Regular iced coffee is disgusting. There's got to be some sugar in it. And then it's like, oh, I don't need any additional sugar. But to each their own. Nope, I drink, even if it's 95 degrees, I am drinking hot coffee. In fact, I have to, we're getting to the time where people are switching here in the Midwest to iced coffee. So when I go to Dunkin', which I'll be there this Saturday morning because it's the Madison Card Show this week. Card Show week, sold out, baby. 125 tables. Bratfest is going on. Come out, see Slaughter, buy some baseball cards. 9 to 3 this Saturday, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive for the Madison Card Show. So on Saturday morning, I'll hit up Dunkin'. If it's, we'll see. I've been going earlier. I've been going to the venue, to the Sheraton, before Dunkin' is even open. That's how early I'm getting to the show. So I have to go to McDonald's, which opens, I think they open at 5. Dunkin' doesn't open until 5:30. So when I'm at McDonald's or Dunkin' in the drive-thru ordering my coffee, I have to make sure to say hot coffee, because they assume in July, many of the employees assume, well, it's 90 degrees. He wants iced coffee. No, I'm a moron. I want hot coffee. So Mark Hoyle's with us. Good morning. Zach and Porter, what's happening? John says, spoke with Zach about Sport Lots the other day, probably heading that way eventually. Now, John, that is really intriguing to me. Because it is, if you're at around 1,700 listings and 3,200 total cards, and that's your limit on eBay, my fear for you is that amount on Sport Lots will not do much. To make it worthwhile, you've got to have like 100,000 listings, maybe 50. You could probably get by with 50,000, depending on the inventory. What I learned about Sport Lots as a seller, and I sold on Sport Lots for several years. Sport Lots is a waste of time for anything older than at this point in time, 2020. And that's kind of like the running gauge. People take off inventory or like don't bother listing anything older than 3 years old. What I learned was vintage does not move on sport lots. I would put like I had bought one of the when I was on sport lots as a seller back in back when their website actually looked new. That's how long ago it was. Back in like the early to mid 2000s. I returned in 2014, I think. Maybe 12 or 13. But in 2014 or 15, I bought this giant bulk lot. And the reason I bought it was for a bunch of 70s. Like there were like 5-row boxes of 77 through 79. And then there was a lot of stuff into the 80s, but I was buying it for the 70s. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to make a killing on sport lots. I didn't. Yeah, I moved some here and there and I thought it would just fly off the shelf. It didn't. So that's one thing that I would warn you about sport lots is, you've got to have like an inventory of 50 to 100,000 cards. And to make sales, it's got to be like brand new stuff. And I'm talking like listing it the day of release. That's where you make your biggest sales on sport lots. If you want passive income, it's a good way to go. But you may reach a point after a couple months where it's like, I'm making $12 and I'm putting in more work than what I should for $12. So I think it's great for a small niche of sellers. I think it's absolutely fantastic for a small group of people. For most, it's just not a good platform to sell on. But like I said, I loved it for the 2 or 3 years. Mike Summer loves sport lots, has a lot of success. He's probably going to jump in the comments later today and disagree with much of what I just said. But I do think it's great for sellers like Mike Summer and others. I know there's a lot of people that are successful on sport lots. But for many, I don't think many people realize the organization it takes, the inventory it takes to be successful and have those sales come in on a regular basis. Ed, good morning. Happy Monday. Scott's here. What's happening? Good morning. I was expecting the backdrop behind you to be empty shelves based on the title. Oh, that would have been fun. That would have been fun. Where are all the baseball cards? Zach and Porter says, John, that was a private conversation. You told me to tape my mouth shut, but no, I realize it must have been said in jest because you don't use tape. Kyle says scaling should be gradual at a pace that it basically happens naturally. Definitely. Sometimes that's a fast pace. Sometimes that's a slower. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Andy Mack says, I get much from the 40,000 sale to sell. Most of the cards were from the mid-90s to 2010, which are my worst years knowledge-wise for selling. I did get 17 Menendez Brothers Hoops cards, though, and those will move on eBay. $5. If you put those up for $5, they'll move. David Mercer, good morning. John says, remind me not to speak with Zach going forward. Herman in the house. What's happening, Herman? Where are we at? We got Herman. I see a Steve Garvey comment. David Mercer. There we are. Card Hobbyist. Bo struggles to drink coffee for 30 minutes is the new title for this stream. Max in the house. Hot takes for the day. Coffee should be enjoyed iced only. Also, coffee is highly overrated. That doesn't surprise me, Max. That does not surprise me whatsoever. Knowing owns limitations is important, like taking care of a duck. I've got a mama duck. She's still hanging out. My wife and the notorious MIL went over to like measure for furniture. I told my wife yesterday, I'm like, what do you need measurements on? I think I talked about this Friday, and guess what? I had to take more measurements on Saturday, and I text back. I'm like, what else are you buying today? I'm like, whatever it is, I'm going to take measurements of other stuff too, just so in 2 hours, I don't get a text, hey, can you go measure this? So we took more measurements yesterday. They went over and drew like chalk lines of where they're going to put my body. chalk lines for like the furniture. It's like, there's some hiccups. We're gonna have to bring in like their designer to see how things are gonna fit. I stayed out of that. That's nope. I'll help you measure. I'm not design. Can't help there. But I asked, did you check on the duck? We've got to give the duck a name. What should we name the duck? My fear, our sighting is going up in 2 weeks. My fear is Mama Duck is not gonna have her her eggs hatched. We need those eggs hatched in the next 2 weeks. So we need to name Mama Duck. What should we name Mama Duck? John says, I would watch a 20-card Steve Garvey PSA reveal as long as Money for Nothing was playing. Uncle Rich is here. All the baseball cards are in box 13 right over my shoulder. Every time I pick that damn thing up, I'm like, oh my God, the bottom's going to fall out. Tony says, Air was really good. I didn't know Phil Knight was a little, quote, out there. Yeah, that was funny. It's like, man, this guy is, when Ben Affleck, by the way, played Phil Knight, and it's like, that was something I noticed as well. There were a lot of things. I won't spoil it, but there were some things that popped up that I'm aware of who Phil Knight is. I'm aware of who Sonny Vaccaro is, but I had to do some Googling. The Jason Bateman character was Rob. So I Googled him. He passed away. Well, he went to work for Adidas or Converse. He left Nike and went to work for another company. And then passed away at a young age, like 46 in the early 90s. And I think his daughter, who he had mentioned in the movie, his daughter works for Nike now. What else did I go? Oh, there was a scene with Sonny Vaccaro, played by Matt Damon, speaking with George Raveling, who was an Iowa head coach. He was an assistant coach on the 84 Team USA basketball team. And George Raveling told this story about going to this like march. And it was kind of like an unassuming story. And he goes, I had a job lined up at Villanova where he played. But I was asked to work or volunteer at this march, and it meant a lot to me. And so I went ahead and I stuck my neck out to work this march, even if I knew I might lose my job over it. Which was basically a conversation about, what Matt Damon, Sonny Vaccaro should do in trying to get Michael Jordan. And George Raveling told this story. It ends up being the Martin Luther King speech, I Have a Dream. And George Raveling was on stage, and I think he asked for the speech. And when it got to the I Have a Dream, it wasn't there because he read the room and completely pivoted on his speech and just what's the word I'm looking for? Just whatever that word was. He just did the I Have a Dream speech. And so that was like basically the advice from George Raveling to Sonny Vaccaro. And so I Googled that, and I'm like, this has got to be like, I'd never heard that story before. This has got to be made up for, just to get him inspired, right? So I Googled it. No, it really happened. And George Raveling still he's still the owner of that speech. He was offered about 10 years ago, he was offered $3 million for his copy of the I Have a Dream speech and turned it down. He gave it to Villanova University on a long-term loan. So he's still the owner, but it's housed at Villanova University. Fascinating story. and they did meant in the like the final credits where they gave updates like Sonny Vaccaro, blah blah blah, Phil Knight, blah blah blah, and it said George Raveling. But before it got to the end, I had Googled it, and I'm like, holy crap, that was a true story. That really happened. That was fascinating. I don't know how I never knew that. That seems like something that would be that most people would know. I mean, if you're basketball fans. John says, by the way, no one can actually play Michael Jordan. They handled it properly. I agree with that. I think it was better done the way it was than having an actual Michael Jordan character. I agree. Kyle says MJ wanted the story to be about Vaccaro and his mom, Dolores. Excellent. Okay, so that was the reasoning behind it. Brian Wolf, good morning. Card Hobbyist says it was the silhouette from the old MJ cologne package. Michael Jordan cologne. That's the scent of my adolescence. Michael Jordan cologne. Agreed, it's better to not have someone play MJ. A poor portrayal can disrupt the whole flow. Agreed. Keeping the character off screen creates mystique, kind of like Frank. My first day in radio, 9/11/2001. Really? I was working in radio on 9/11/2001. I don't think I worked. No, I did not work that day, but I worked the next day. Or did I work? Was I in mornings? I might have been more in mornings on. No, I wasn't. I had school that day. It was a Tuesday. I had a morning class, and I was home. So 2000. When did I when did I start in radio? No, I was not in radio in 2001. I didn't start until December of 2001. I'm thinking of 9/11/2002. I was doing the afternoon drive because I remember playing a lot of the, clips and stuff. So I was not in radio on 9/11/2001. John says, read the wiki page about Air and you'll get your Jordan answer. Mark Marinello in the house. Zach and Porter says, I'd also recommend reading Shoe Dog if you liked Air. Great Phil Knight bio about his stray and the risky how he navigated many challenges. The book ends pre-Jordan. Interesting. Ted Roman in the house. What's happening? I'm a radio guy myself and go back into card sales recently, doing my first very small local card show this weekend in LA. Any tips? I should say selling at my first show. So I will keep it very what's the word I'm looking for? I'm out of words this morning. Basic. Keep it very basic. Have plenty of cash on hand for change. Small bills, ones, fives, tens. Let's see. Price your cards. Make sure your cards are priced, or have them in a box. All these cards are $1. All these cards are in $0.25. Have them clear. I don't know what you're selling. If you're selling like bargain box stuff, have extra storage boxes or like paper bags on hand. So if people buy multiples, they can put them somewhere. Most people, I have noticed, most people that shop bargain boxes are like pro bargain box shoppers. They have their own boxes. When I go to shows, I typically bring my own boxes. But I also buy mini cards. So, and the bargain, the veteran sellers have boxes on hand. And I'm like, do you have any boxes? What else? Change, boxes, pricing. Those are like three of the most important things, I think. Let's see. Zach says, I saw Air was rated R. Is there anything besides swearing that would make it such? Porter wants to see it, and so do I. For the record, I can watch R-rated movies. I don't think there's anything. There's no gratuitous sex scenes. There's no nudity. There's no really bad language that I can read. Well, Mr. Potty Mouth over here. I think it's probably rated R just for probably a few swear words and adult content, meaning like maybe adult jokes. But I think if you're cool with the swearing, I think it's okay for Porter to watch. Again, I don't have kids, so take my opinion with a grain of salt. I don't know. Anybody with kids in the chat have any suggestions? Because Porter's what, 11, and of course it depends on what you're okay with. There's no like blood, murder. There's no sex. There's no nudity. There's nothing like that. It's just maybe a few swear words. Let's see. Dan says, wait. You never mentioned owning a house before. I sure have. 887 episodes. I'm sure I've mentioned owning my house in Macomb. It was I will tell you, my first house I owned in Macomb was less square feet than what I'll have for my cards at the new house. That's how small my house was in Macomb. But I had a big deck, but that's what she said. And I had I had like a storage shed out back. I had a decent sized yard, but a decent sized yard because the house was tiny. It was a tiny house. It was basically one bedroom. It was one bedroom, a small bathroom, small kitchen, small living room, and then a small other room that I rented out. And the rent I earned from my friends / tenants paid the whole mortgage. So, and then I'd put a washer and dryer in that other room. It was like, it was when I didn't have a roommate, it was a card room, in the laundry room. And then it was a second bedroom when I did have roommates. One of my roommates was Night Owl. He was a partier. And I think I don't know if he worked he partied third shift, but I mean, he would be getting home like when I was waking up for work, because I worked in morning radio. So he got I gave him like the actual bedroom because, or wait, no, that was a different roommate. Somebody I gave the back bedroom to. I had like 3 or 4 roommates over the course of 7 years. I can't remember, but yeah, I think I gave him the front room because he would be coming in when I was leaving for work. I can't remember, but yeah, it was very small, tiny house. I lived there for, when did I buy it? I bought it in like 2006. And I moved in 2014, and then I sold it in, I think, 2016. Let's see. John says Porter can watch it. Gambling in the beginning is about the most racy thing in there. Yeah, gambling and a few cuss words. That's about it. Let's see. Johnny Boy Cards, good morning. Happy Monday. John says, I recommend Michael Moore's The Big One, where Phil Knight stares down Moore until Moore blinks. Mark Marinello, I'm with you. Iced or hot only cream. Despise sugar in my coffee. Same here. I do not like what sugar does to coffee. Now there's a little bit of sugar in the cream I use, but sometimes I buy sugar-free cream. I just need a little bit of something. Milk. I can do milk in my coffee. But I just need something to dilute the coffeeness. Just a tad. John has hundreds of thousands of comments. Tell John not to do something is the best recipe for him doing something. I have a gajillion cards from 1980 onwards. Andy Mack says buyers are probably too worried about condition on vintage to buy from sport lots. that probably is a good case because Sport Lots, you don't put pictures. Let's see. I can't stand Sport Lots because it's too hard to find all the cards I want from the fewest number of buyers. That's my biggest knock. Let's see. John says, I thought Sport Lots was the opposite. Cards people looking to fill out sets of commons that don't sell on eBay. I have better luck. You will have, and here's the thing about eBay versus Sport Lots. You will have better luck selling a 1982 Topps Alfredo Griffin on eBay than you will on Sport Lots. And you'll make more money doing so. You'll have better luck on eBay than Sport Lots. Because how many 1982 Topps Alfred? Let's do a little experiment. Sportlots.com. Is there even an Alfredo Griffin in 1982 Topps? Let's see. Alfredo Griffin. 1982 Topps, baby. Card number 6677. So there are 238 copies of 1982 Topps Alfredo Griffin on Sport Lots. Now let's go to ebay.com. 1982 Topps Alfredo Griffin. And it brings up 121 results, but we're probably going to get, that's the thing on eBay, it's not going to be all. There's some stickers. Okay, so we're going to want, okay, so if we do 677, that might help us out. Drop that down. That still brings up 100. Well, guess what? When you type in, and this could be just because it's me, but when you type in 1982 Topps 677 Alfredo Griffin, the first result, boom, 1 million Cubs. $1.50 your best offer. Calvis ROI has one for $1.09. That's what promoted listings will get you though. Top of the search. So there's quite a few 1982 Topps Alfredo Griffins on eBay, more than I would have expected. But still almost about a third of what's on Sport Lots. And here's the thing with eBay. eBay, okay, eBay, you can go to Alfredo Griffin. We're going to go best match, brings up Bo's sponsored listing. It's not the cheapest though. We're going to go shipping lowest first. Okay. So it's going to be basically $1. That in this one is we don't even know if it's available because it's in the variation. Most of these are variations. Okay, here's $1. We're going to call it $1.09. This guy's got the picture of it. So we see it. Looks like it's way off center. Or maybe just the photo. Anyway, $1.09. So we go to Sport Lots, 82 Topps, base set Alfredo Griffin. Okay, so here we go. D. Trini. We've got to click on his name to see. We don't know how much it's going to cost. Well, his cheapest is $1.05. So we're going to pay $1.25 with that guy. Colts fan. He might not even be the cheapest. I don't think is there even a way to ship or sort by lowest shipping? I don't think so. Chevy van. Oh, that was a great song. Who was that? Sammy somebody? Chevy van. $1 plus, so $1.20. So you've got to do work. I just know, I'm going to pay $1.09 from this guy on eBay. So there you go. Real life example. Where are we at? Damn, way too far. Here we are. Mark says, speaking of thousands of commons, currently sorting 1975 while watching Hobby Evolution. Excellent. A great set. I'm a big fan of 75. Let's see. Zach says, it is John. Great for set builders. eBay is impulse buy. 65 days, says the bargain boxer. What's 65 days? The National? Is that 65 days? Happy Monday, Talking Tatis. Dan says, I love using Sport Lots to buy several of a common card to try and gem with PSA for the Burley Topps Basic Registry. Angel Baby Cards, good morning. Tigers 727, what's happening? Grinding for good in the house. Duck Russ. I don't know what that's in reference to, but it sounds. Oh, The name. We're naming the duck. Duckrus. Duckrus. John says, I was hoping would have concluded with an update on the Marcus Jordan Larsa Pippen relationship. I saw a duck at the bar the other day. The duck said, don't worry about paying. Just put it on my bill. But Waddles the duck. Brian, good morning. Takes 28 days for duck eggs to hatch once the mama starts sitting on them. Herman, thank you. That's gonna be pretty close because I think she's been there for a couple weeks. So I guess it could be any day now. 28 days. I love it. Thank you, Herman. Talking Tatis, audibled, improvised, pivot. Oh, were names that I couldn't come up with. Sonny Vaccaro gives his I Have a Dream in the middle of the Jordan pitch. Let's see. Yes. Let's see. Flipping Sports Guy, Villanova, boo. Talking Tatis also hates Villanova. Raleigh Massimino killed the Big Five. Angel Baby says, takes almost 30 minutes to fire up my PC. Need some hot coffee. What's the deal with 2023 update? I'm not sure. Bargain Boxer. When I go to a show to Bargain Box, I bring luggage. Actual luggage, not that Zion case luggage. Actual rolling luggage. I don't mess around. That's a really good idea. I like that. Come on. Red Bridge says kids here way worse at school. Yes, they probably do. And if Porter rides a bus, he's probably already learned it. Movie is totally fine for kids, but I was also taken to Trading Places in the movie theater when I was 10 and my brother was 8. Yeah, I went to see, my parents took me to, what the hell movie was it? Was it Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Which, was, you think it's a cartoon. Not really kid friendly. I think I was 6. What else did I go see in the theater? That was probably Crocodile Dundee 2, but Crocodile Dundee 2 was probably tamer than Who Framed Roger Rabbit for a 6-year-old. Let's see. Trading Places. Great movie. Swearing not an issue as long as he doesn't repeat it. We just watched Major League. It has a few fast forward moments. Porter turns 10 next week. Oh, okay. 10. James, was the house on Lincoln? No. My house was on Madison Street. On Madison Street. Let's see. Card Shuffler. House looks great. Thank you. Dave Marnell, good morning. What does a PSA 10 of the guy from the movie The Rookie go for? I don't know. What's that? Jim Morris? Let's see. Jim Morris. Since I'm still on eBay, PSA 10. His cards were crazy. It looks like there's not any PSA 10s on eBay. Jim Morris 2000 Bowman is listed for $4.40 plus $1.75 shipping. So, hey, if you have Jim, ComC, $13. So let's look up 2000 Jim Morris. So be on the lookout for Jim Morris cards. 2000 Bowman. I didn't realize. I would list Jim Morris is one of those cards that if I find in like a common box, I'll list it on eBay because it's, he was in that movie. So the cheapest on eBay, there's a whole bunch of, and this, my friends, is why I do not do variation listings because I am scrolling past every one of them. That's why I do not like variation listings because if I'm doing it, that means many others are also doing the same thing. So we're looking for 2000 Jim Morris Bowman cards, and I'm scrolling through a whole bunch of variation listings. Here we go. That $4.40 plus $1.75 shipping is the cheapest one. Let's do an advanced search and see if any have sold. So we can look all day at listing, and you can list whatever. But I bet something is sold. Oh, now we got to go through all these damn variation listings again. One sold for $2.99 shipped. One sold for $3.75 shipped. This one sold for $3.89 shipped. $4.49 shipped. $4.89 shipped. $4.95 shipped. So there you go. Jim Morris, 2000 Bowman. Pull them out of your quarter box, or actually wouldn't even probably be in a quarter box. It'd probably be in your common box. Talking Tati says this show is PG-13 with the occasional F-bomb, making it an R. I try to limit the F-bombs. Sometimes when I get on that soapbox, I let them fly. Dave said, if someone huffs and puffs, they'd blow that basement away. Do you insure all the cards in your house? Not yet, but I will be getting, what is it? Collector's insurance, whatever. So I will be, but as of right now, not. Let's see. I can't drink coffee without sugar. Double A cards in the house. Good morning. Let's see. Dave has never had a sip of coffee or a headache. Interesting. I get sinus headaches. Certainly not caffeine related, though. Zach and Porter, black coffee, drink it all day. Angel Baby Card says, okay, hot coffee in hand and wearing the Topps cap. Redbridge says, black coffee gang. It's so much easier. Nobody can screw up your coffee. That is true. But here's the thing. Creamer is like usually available. Like you go to Dunkin' and there's probably creamer over here and you can dump it in yourself. Talking Tati says your walkthrough bids are getting better, by the way. Looking good in the new hood. Your walkthrough bids. Or vids. Let's see. Yep. We're finally getting somewhere. We're finally getting it put together. Let's see. I add chia seeds to my coffee. Naturally reduce cholesterol. No Griffin sold. Alfredo. Let's see. IPA equals black coffee. Can't do it. I can do black coffee, but I certainly do not prefer. John pulling out LRS stats. Is that true? I want to double check his work. But remember, that's just in the last, 90 days? 1982 Topps, Alfredo Griffin. Let's see, the sold search. We got these damn variation listings. I wonder if the variation sold is an actual sale of the person you're searching. I don't know. It doesn't say. All right. Anyway, let's see. Redbridge says black coffee greater than IPA. Agree with that. Totally agree with that. Todd Johnson, good morning. Happy Monday. John needs a place to dump my 1991 radioactive cards before I need to start taking iodine pills. Todd, I appreciate it. Thank you. Angel Baby says sure beats the hell out of all these doctors who are mad about prescribing statins as we age. Black coffee and IPA, that's heaven. I can handle black coffee. I don't prefer it. IPAs, bleh, ugh. Dan says they're all yours. Yes. Enjoy all the IPAs. Zach says, Bo, as someone who has stuffed Howard the Duck knowledge and cards down our throats, I think you already know the name of that duck. That's a really good point. There's no but Howard's a man's name. It's a mama duck. We can't name a mama duck Howard. Did Howard have, and I should know this, being the Howard the Duck aficionado I am, did Howard the Duck have a wife? A duck wife, not Leah Thompson. Howard the Duck wife. Can you imagine some of the Google searches I have? Who is Howard the Duck's girlfriend? Beverly Switzler. But that she was Leah Thompson. Did they get married? Damn. Maybe I just call her Leah Thompson. The duck will be Leah Thompson. Which, hey, it works because my last name is Thompson. So it works. Angel Baby says, Roger Rabbit for me, fall 88. I was 22 at the time. First movie my dad took me to, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Seeing people's face melt at the end, probably not the best for a 5-year-old. Was that the movie with the snake pit? Which one was that? Was that Temple of Doom or Raiders of the Lost Ark? That gave me I hate snakes. That gave me nightmares. John says Porter is turning 10, but he's decades ahead of your average collector. I totally agree. Completely agree with that. Daisy Duck. That's one that I thought. I thought Daisy, but I don't know. I don't think it was Sammy Kershaw. I'm Googling that now. Sammy Johns sang Chevy Van. Let's see. Where are we at? Manchester City are champions of England. For those that don't have launch angle and exit velocity boners, I don't have launch angle and exit velocity boners, but I don't like soccer. Collectibles Insurance Services is what it's called, and everyone should get some. Shane says you can definitely screw up black coffee. If you make it too weak, then it's nasty. Or if you make it too strong, it's sludge. That's the problem with office coffee. That's one of the biggest perks of working for yourself is you're in control of the coffee. If you're in an office setting, somebody else. Kyle made shitty coffee. Dave made shitty coffee. It was like a race to see who made the shittiest coffee between those two guys. Now I don't have to deal with Dave and Kyle's shitty coffee. I can make my own shitty coffee. And I only have myself to blame if I make the shitty coffee. And sometimes I do. Yeah, that's the worst, man. Shitty office coffee. Black coffee needs to be nice and strong. Disagree. I like a smooth coffee. Shockingly, there have been many 82 Griffin sales. For nearly $2 all in, I'm shicked. What's the deal with all this interest in Seiya Suzuki? I don't know. He hasn't really hit that well this year. He hasn't been he's kind of underwhelmed so far. Was Leah Thompson in Howard the Duck? Yes. Yes, she was. All my searches of eBay sold items showed sales for mostly his cards. Leah Thompson was a bit of a hottie. Heck yeah. Let's see. Zach says you live in Madison. The female duck can have a man's name without protest. Leah was a dime. We should search Rich's recent history. I'm sure there are some interesting names in there. Zach says the only duck in that recent history is an auto spell correction. I will walk through a pit of snakes before I even think of holding one June bug in my hand. I hate June bugs, but give me a June bug all day over a freaking snake. Andrew says, what's the most amount of cards you will ship in an eBay standard envelope? I'd imagine no more than 2 in top loaders. What if you had a 7-card order? Is it okay to sleeve them and put them all in a team bag? So here's the thing. I'll ship up to 12 in an envelope. However, you have to do it carefully. So first off, I don't use top loaders. And especially, I would not ship more than 1 top loader in a plain white envelope. I would not put 2 because when you put 2 top loaders in an envelope, either it might be too thick for like a short envelope, and for a long envelope, there's gonna be a split in the middle, and that could lead to jamming up the machines and ruining the cards potentially. So I use card savers, and I use card saver 1s. You can put 3 cards per card saver in here. Let's see, I've got some tops cards over here. So I sleeve them, but these are going to be not sleeved just for time purposes. So I'm going to ding these because I don't care. So we're just going to, by the way, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I'm much more careful when I pack the cards than what I just did. So 3 cards in here, and I'll do up to 4 card savers, and then I'll just put them like that in the envelope. So again, I would not recommend. I do ship a top loader in plain white envelopes, but I would not ship 2. I leave it at 1. Sometimes I'll put like say it's like a $15 or $16 card. I'll put it in a top loader inside of a team bag. That's not a team bag. In the plain white envelope. Leah Thompson's bedroom scene in All the Right Moves was a poor man's Phoebe Cates moment. Coffee shop, card shop would be a cool idea. Like-minded collectors could buy, sell, and trade. You bet, Andrew. Leah Thompson is married to a guy named Howard the Deutsch. Just Google it. All right, now we're going to Google Leah Thompson. Leah Thompson, married to Howard Deutsch. Or Dutch, or Dooch, or Douche. I did not realize Leah Thompson was born in Rochester, Minnesota. Let's see. She's still a dime today, and she's 61. Let's see. She married Howard back in 1989. They met on the set of Some Kind of Wonderful. I don't think I'm familiar with that movie. Some Kind of Wonder. Oh, it was a John Hughes film. How have I not seen this movie? Some Kind of Wonderful. Where's it streaming? I might have this on as a background today. Some Kind of Wonderful. Streaming. Oh, it's available on HBO Max. I have that. Oh, it's also on Hulu? Is it on Prime? Looks like it. Let's see. Let's go to Amazon. I think I'm logged into HBO. I'd have to figure out my Prime Video password because some of this Amazon's under my name, HBO's in my wife's name. I think Hulu's in my wife's name, Peacock's in my name, Prime Video. What was the movie called? Some Kind of Wonderful. On Our Own is on Amazon. I thought I was watching that on something else. Anyway, okay. So home, Prime Video. How in the hell do I search? Prime Video, Some Kind of Wonderful. And let's see. Is it? Oh, you have to rent it. Oh, wait, no. Oh, this video is currently unavailable. Oh, what's this? Some Kind of Wonderful, Prime Video. Oh, it's only free with a Cinemax trial. Huh. Okay. Moving on. Where are we at? Let's see. I think I went too far. Here we go. Angel Baby Cards. Need some advice. How the heck do I get Card Saver 1 and or 2 open wide enough to keep my cards from bending their corners? Columbia Hobby. Here's the link. This is where I buy mine. There you go. We need more fluids near cards. I'm going to open an aquatics club where we can swim and trade cards. Some Kind of Wonderful with a girl named Styx. Is someone asking how to use card savers? Bo, you're no longer the least manny person in the hobby. She's still 60, or she's still hot. I'm 60. That's my wheelhouse. You're the same age. The duck is obviously named Leah Dimes. Explain that to your wife. Eric Stoltz was in that movie, yes. Anyone have an extra feeder tray for the Fujitsu 7030? Not sure. So that's what I had today. Where are all the baseball cards? We're just going to have to shelve that for another day. And Ken says, where are all the cards? I don't know. I don't know where all the cards are. We didn't even get to the topic. I don't even want to talk about it. I just I needed something just in case, just in case we weren't going to go off on a tangent on coffee, sport lots, Leah Thompson, and all that. Card savers. So yeah, but where are the cards? Topps Heritage does release this week. What year are we on? Is this 74? Or are we at 75? I can't remember. But Topps Heritage releases Wednesday is release day. By the way, Topps Series 2 comes out in a few weeks. I believe the pre-sale, much like we saw with Bowman, is on Topps today. So here's a word of advice. If you're looking to get Topps Series 2, buy it today on pre-order because it'll be cheaper than what you can get it for down the road. So go to Topps.com, pre-order coming soon in 2 hours, 44 minutes, and 5 seconds. Topps Series 2. So it'll be interesting. So I'm going to keep that link up because I might buy a couple boxes. Let's see. Jordan Walker has a rookie card in it. Anthony Volpe, rookie card. So those will be hot out of the gate. So we've got cards coming. Heritage this week. Pre-sale today for Topps Series 2, and it releases in a couple weeks. So if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I did upload new video last night, a walkthrough, entire house renovation walkthrough video. So that's on my channel. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning. If you really want to find out where all the cards are, maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. I don't know. So it was just going to be an opinion. And you know what opinions are like. Everybody, I just ruined that, didn't I? Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. Angel baby cards. That just made me laugh, and that's the comment of the day. So have a great Monday, and like, subscribe, all that, and we'll see you tomorrow.